To be honest with you, I've been thanking you all since March of 1988. The Nature Boy Sting 45-minute draw for the world title. Thank you, Rick. I don't even know if Rick is still here, but thank you, Rick. Greensboro, you were incredible in '88 and beyond, all the way to this very night. I've been saying on all kinds of interviews, I just want this to be a night that wrestling fans will not forget. A night of wrestling that'll be etched in your minds for years to come. And it is me that's saying this is a night that I will never forget. Thank you, Greensboro! You are awesome! Yeah. This is definitely a time to give thanks for sure. Thank you to the greatest tag team partner I've ever had, Darby Allin. I wonder how many stitches this is going to require tonight.
I said I would die in your last match, but I'm still breathing.
Yep, I knew it from the very first time I saw Darby in action. He's a risk taker. I was a risk taker in my young days, and you know what? I'm kind of old now, but I'm still a risk taker. Especially if I'm here in Greensboro.
Yo, party peeps, what is up? It's your boy, the best Gabe in the biz. What an incredible revolution that we just had tonight, from beginning to end, from great matches, great stories, and an absolutely perfect way to close out the iconic career of Sting, along with new champions being crowned and Kyle O'Reilly returning here to AEW. Guys, don't worry. Everything that happened here on the show tonight, you're going to hear right here and right now, because the newest episode of The Gift of Gabe, get ready to like and subscribe, covering the final match of the Icon Sting, starts, I'm thinking, right about, now. Okay, you guys, we had a lot of great matches here tonight. Titles were on the line, and the champions that were retained were the greatest TNT champion of all time, the father of the century, the patriarch, Christian Cage, timeless Tony Storm, and the AEW World Championship, Samoa Joe, retained over Swerve and Hangman. All three matches were good, especially the TNT and as well the AEW World title match. And also the King of the Bums, Eddie Kingston, retained over Bryan Danielson, and another classic. Dude, all these matches were great. I've had a feeling Garcia might have had a chance, but he gets over while Christian goes over, and I'm sure he will have another chance at Championship Glory later on this year. He put an absolute clinic in order to start the show. It set the tone, but at the end of the day, the patriarch of AEW, Christian Cage, always just ends up finding a way. So whether Adam Cole wants to come back for another shot, or someone wants to step out to the plate leading into the new pay-per-view Dynasty, guess what? Step up or get stepped on, because Christian Cage won't be stopped until he continues to prove why he's the greatest TNT champ of all time. And in terms of Miss Storm, whether it's Jamie Hayter coming back or Mercedes on her way or whatever, she'll just keep finding a way to continue to be timeless with the beautiful and sexy Mariah May, just doing what Toni Storm does, and that's putting on a masterpiece. And then with Eddie versus Bryan, it was all about respect. Respect, respect, respect. And Eddie Kingston finally earned Bryan Danielson's respect. Shook his hand, he asked him a little bit, pulling it away, but he shook his hand like a man, closes out in my opinion, one of the best trilogies here in AEW over like a 3-year span between these two. They split it, and this was the tiebreaker. absolutely incredible. Eddie is still the Triple Crown, solidifying over however the past year has been his best year, and how someday he will be the top man in this industry, the AEW World Champion. The King of the Bums is still our king of the Continental Crown Mountain. And speaking of kings, the king of all of AEW, Samoa Joe, is still our AEW World Champion. He defeated Swerve, Strickland, and Hangman Adam Page in another incredible matchup. Absolutely. And as I expected, Hangman Page ends up getting choked out by Samoa Joe in order for him to retain. Now, Swerve didn't get pinned. He didn't get submitted. But we saw the progression. He didn't accept Prince Nana's help in cheating to win when he had the opportunity, because it's now the building block for what is going to be babyface Swerve and his road to finally winning the AEW World Championship and becoming the first black AEW World Champion and solidifying whose house? Swerve's house. But until then, Samoa Joe now has Wardlow to deal with, as he is now the #1 contender for the AEW World title after winning the Scramble. And whether it happens at Big Business or whether it happens at the new pay-per-view Dynasty, Joe is going to have some really big Mr. Mayhem-sized problems on his hands once again that he is very well used to and will have to overcome. But make no mistake about it, tonight was just a little block in the road for Swerve Strickland. He will go on to become AEW World Champion. Hangman Page will be World Champion again someday because he's being so freaking great as a despicable heel. And we will one day be saying, and new AEW World Champion, whose house? Swerve's house, Swerve Strickland. Okay, guys, those were the titles that were retained, but there was one title that changed hands, and that was the International Championship. Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy. Another great match. Roddy, Messiah of the Backbreaker, took advantage of all the injuries that have really racked up over the 2 title reigns of Orange Cassidy, and then wham! End of Heartbreak, 1, 2, 3, new International Champion and Roderick Strong. But the surprises were not done there. Oh no! Kyle O'Reilly, after almost 2 years away, has returned. And it looked like for a moment he was about to join the Undisputed Kingdom because, he's been boys with Adam Cole and boys with Roddy and even Taven and Bennett for like years. Instead of putting on the shirt, he tossed it right over Roddy's shoulder, whispered something in his ear, and then left. He was very emotional, I think, because he's, finally back, and he suffered a devastating neck injury that was like making it be like it's going to be a long time before we see him again. But Kyle O'Reilly is back, and I'm immediately intrigued. And along with Mr. Mayhem Wardlow building a momentum again, and now Roddy as the new international champion with his boys Taven and Bennett, who are the ROH Tag Team Champions, and Cole on his way to healing, Undisputed Kingdom has officially hit a new level of an intrigue that you're definitely not going to want to miss. What the hell they do next? So yeah, screw all you haters. And this is my comment to all of you who didn't want to wait it out and see how this faction was going to get even better.
You stupid dick!
You guys, Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita was truly, like Don Cal said, a match of the decade caliber matchup from beginning to end, dude. Will Ospreay we already knew he was a star. He's going to be a star here in AEW. From the first match, dude, showed up, showed out. He got them battle scars from the victory, but he is here. He's here to stay. He is here to not be a placeholder, but to take over, and he will be AEW World Champion very, very soon. And soon he will separate himself from the Don Callis family, as well as Kyle Fletcher, who he will be facing this week on Dynamite, and what I'm sure is going to be another incredible battle. My God, dude. And now someday, Takeshita is going to be a huge babyface again, even more than he was before, when he eventually splits himself off from Don Callis, because, let's be honest, Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita, 2 of the guys who over the next, 10 years here in AEW are going to be running this place and shaping professional wrestling as the greatest sport in the world, and has AEW as the greatest professional wrestling company all over the entire globe. But for tonight, it was the first step of glory. Ospreay beating Takeshita in an absolute classic of decade proportions. So congratulations, Ospreay. You are the Billy Goat, and someday you will become AEW World Champion, because this was only the beginning, but we are now officially in the aerial elite wrestling era of Will by God Ospreay. You guys, tonight it was all about Sting's final match. You guys, tonight the tag team scene in AEW was on display once again, and it was absolutely incredible. FTR and Moxley and Claudio BCC absolutely stole the show and show why they're four of the best wrestlers in the entire world, and two of the best tag teams in AEW and all over the world, period. And now they got to watch, as the rest of us did, as the tag team championships were on the line in the match we were all waiting for, Sting and Darby against the Young Bucks, the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas. Match was perfect from the intro and the opening. Sting's sons coming out as his own former characters. Like, it was all incredible. Darby took Ride or Die to a whole new level, jumping off that ladder. Shades of when he did it with Jeff Hardy, but this time through glass, dude. Through glass. His back was so freaking jacked. Insane. And then Sting gets put through tables, gets right up, says F you, then goes through some glass, and he's like, nah, I'm not done yet. And then eats some super kick party, says, takes both guys down, and then even after the Bucks, incredibly, just like came in earlier in the night, continue to be a ruthless dick with, fuck you, Young Bucks, and all that shit like that. Take out Ricky Steamboat, take out Ric Flair with super kick parties, and they almost get the edge over Sting with multiple EVP triggers, but Sting's like, no! Kick out at one, and then they fail to hit the TK driver. We see a Scorpion Death Drop, a Coffin Drop, and then Matthew Jackson has no choice but to tap out. And Sting retains the tag team titles with Darby Allin, who has said is his greatest tag team partner. They go out 16-0 as a tag team. Sting 29-0, whatever. He goes out undefeated here in AEW and on top as champion. An absolutely perfect way to close out an iconic career. And now, Sting got what he wanted and put on a match where he said we were going to want to save the tape. And I am speaking for a lot of you. We're saving the damn tape. Now we're going to inevitably build up what I think is a tag team tournament all the way leading into the Dynasty pay-per-view on April 20th, or maybe a couple weeks sooner than that. Who knows? Either way, we're getting a tag team tournament that will crown the new AEW tag team champions once Sting and Darby relinquish them on Wednesday. And like I said, BCC won tonight over FTR. They are now probably number one in the rankings. They are probably at the top of my list, Mox and Claudio, of becoming the next AEW World Tag Team Champions. But with teams like the FTRs, Private Party, and then freaking Top Flight, the House of Black, options are endless, and it's going to be great. But just for tonight, for me, for every one of us, Sting, thank you so much for everything. I'm glad you got to go out in your spotlight, and you can go into the sunset knowing you completed a run in this business, especially over the last couple of years, that you should not have been able to do at your age. You deserve it. We love you. We'll miss you. We cannot wait to see you again, just gracing our TV screens just to say hi. But for now, showtime may be over, but the time for Sting to enjoy the legendariness that it will be post his career is officially now. So, ow! Stinger, thanks for everything. Okay, you guys, that is Revolution. We are done. Put it in the rearview mirror. We are done. So much great stuff is still on the way. We are just 5 weeks away from WrestleMania 40. And then tomorrow night on Raw, we got Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre and Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. We're not going to want to miss any of the stuff that is going down. And then Logan Paul, he is back this Friday on SmackDown, as I'm sure the U.S. title will start picking up. And Cody and Seth will show up to, whether they accept or decline, they're going to accept the challenge of Rock to fight him and Roman at WrestleMania, with huge stakes of the main event of WrestleMania on the line. And like I said, Wednesday, new setup, new era, on our way to the new pay-per-view Dynasty with Tunnels. We're gonna have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. It's going to be great. And guys, you're seriously not going to want to miss any of these shows. And you're definitely not going to want to miss what your boy, the best gabber in the biz, has to say afterwards. So keep on liking, keep on subscribing, and most importantly, keep on remembering that when it comes to talking wrestling, who better to gab with than Gabe right here. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed Revolution. Thank you again, Sting, one last time. Enjoy everything that comes your way, because you absolutely deserve it. And enjoy those damn flowers, dude. But until then, I will see you guys after Raw this Monday to see who continues to gain momentum on the road to the most historic WrestleMania of all time. But until then, deuces, and I'll see you guys on Monday.